I started in the early mid 90s when I was still an undergrad and created a company, oddly, to connect medical billing networks for doctors' offices who didn't want to pay $1,000 a month for a T1 line. And this networking world opened up things like the need for firewalls and VPNs, and I found I loved it. I'm really insistent on the idea of a Renaissance education and people being very broad and understanding lots of topics. I think it's helped me a lot in both, life and in my career, be understanding how we got here on a lot of things, even if they're not directly related. But my actual degree is in history. But when people ask me about degrees versus education, degrees versus certifications, it's a very sticky topic as a hiring manager because I think I want people with curiosity over all of it. I think you have to be somewhat strategic or stupid to quit your job 3 days after 9/11 and go to a new one, which is what I did. I'm both a reader and a tinkerer. The reader part, I read voraciously on every topic that was out there. It's peers talking to peers about what's going on and what they see and what's good and what's not good. The idea that products don't solve problems, people solve problems, and that we use technology to support it, and we should be using basic technology as much as possible before we start going on to whiz bang things. I'm in security. I'm a cynic. I have trust issues. I think we all do. As a result, I'm actually quite keen on the things that are happening in the space, but I think they need to be run in isolated worlds. Unfortunately, there's this proliferation of, $45 cheap solutions with AI in them using commercial AI models and the data going back into those models. And those are where we have to put our foot down, especially when you consider the type of data going into them. And when it's infosec data, it's a little bit more scary that
Mhm.
what happens if that data comes out the other end. Will we get to a time of full automation? Probably at some point, but I don't think we're there yet. Unfortunately, the person who suffers most in that is my poor wife and my son, which means if I can't mess around with tech at work, I'm going to mess around with tech at home. And the poor network at home is always in a state of change. But we've now moved into a world of business enablement where security is actually a tentpole.
Mhm.
It exists on a continuum. And the only perfectly secure thing is one that's closed, turned off, locked in a closet, no data, no network, no nothing. And that's not very useful. Yes, and if we do this, what will the headline look like on the front page of the Wall Street Journal? I stopped 484 million vulnerabilities yesterday. And then you come
Sure.
to somebody who is about revenue and who's about EBITDA, and they say, "So what? What does that mean?" When we grew up, we could open a computer and replace a part. And I think that a lot, the fact that it wasn't all glued together, let us be curious in a way that is much harder to do today if you're just starting out. Also, the consequences are way more dire. Put your
Yeah.
institutional knowledge in and get information out. Don't execute automatically. I know we like to do this. Don't necessarily in all cases. Put the risk assessment on it. I think we have an opportunity to collect data and process it at speed that we never have been able to do, which will allow us to gain insights. Get back to the basics, understand your environments, understand how your data flows. In this world, if that keeps you up at night, this is going to send you to the corner, gently rocking and weeping, as now you're sending real data out into these environments. It's not that it can't and shouldn't be done. It just needs to be done in a managed way and not just because some person on the team decided to click through and start connecting it up.
Those extra clicks are so much friction on the business that people don't realize they're not going to do that.
And they're going to go build their own thing
Yeah.
outside of your environment and take the data out without you knowing it. Show me that you're curious. Show me that you play. It doesn't take a lot to play. I don't necessarily want people that know it all already because it's all going to change in 6 weeks. The technologies are immaterial. The concepts are fundamental, but the curiosity is truly the bedrock.